What is the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve is an independently owned central bank that prints money for the U.S. Why do they use the word federal if it's privately owned? They use the word federal so that most Americans will think it is run by the government when it really isn't. Do the American people accept this? Yes. Why do they accept this? There probably are no Americans still alive from 1913 when the Federal Reserve Act was approved. Why did the Americans approve this in 1913? The American people didn't. The Senate voted it through during Christmas break when very few senators were there. Why didn't the American people vote out the senators who pushed this through? Because Woodrow Wilson got America involved with World War I. Then everyone forgot about the Federal Reserve. Why didn't the people do something about the Federal Reserve after the war was over? The American people were told that there would be economic stability and prosperity forever. We would have a world of no recessions or depressions. Is that what happened? No. We had a recession in the mid-1920s. Then the Big Depression followed this and lasted about 11 years. Recessions have continued on and off ever since, ending with our current depression-like economy. Is this Disneyland? When are the American people going to wake up and smell their burning money? They can't because their money isn't really worth anything anymore. Every time the Fed prints money, the value of the dollar goes down. Why is that? Isn't the gold the government has that is backing the money worth something? I don't know how to tell you this, but our money hasn't been backed by gold since 1973. That's when President Nixon took us off the last remnants of the gold standard. In 1933 FDR, no relation to the FRB, reduced the gold standard by 50%. Then he made it illegal for any American citizen to own gold, forcing them to turn it over to the government. I hope FDR was a one-year president. This guy sounds like a fascist. Actually, FDR was pro-communist, but that's for another story. Believe it or not, FDR was re-elected 3 times. He actually died in office during his 4th term as president. This sounds like an episode from the Jerry Springer Show. Well, what about the gold at Fort Knox? That gold is almost gone. It has steadily been used to pay off our debt to the Fed. What debt do we have to the Fed? Well, this is going to sound very strange. How strange? Are we talking like reality show strange? Worse. Most Americans don't realize that every time the Fed prints or loans money, the U.S. taxpayers have to pay for it. You see, the Fed never has to get approval for any of its loans. In fact, the Fed has never even been audited in its almost 100 years of existence. Can I get a loan from the Fed? No. They really only give billions of dollars to fascist states or destitute countries that they know can't pay it back. Why would they do that? How do they make any money from that? Well, as soon as the loan is approved, interest from that loan goes right to the stockholders of the Fed. If a loan defaults, the American taxpayers will have to pay for it. It is just added to our already ridiculous $6 trillion debt. What's even better is when the Fed restructures a failing loan and gives that country even more money rolled into a new loan in hopes that that one will fail too. The Fed always gets its money, whether it's from the loanee or the U.S. taxpayers. I feel like I should jump off the nearest bridge and see if an angel, like Clarence in It's a Wonderful Life, will be there to save me and tell me that this has only been a dream. I wouldn't do that. You and Clarence will only get arrested, serve time, and add to our national debt.